From now on until 2015, WaterAid aims to continue to provide water, sanitation and hygiene services that correspond to norms for vulnerable people. This project is for people with disabilities, pregnant women, vulnerable people such as senior citizens, and even people who are overweight.
Accessibility means facilitating the use of infrastructures by everybody, be they disabled or not.
A space where people can move around at ease.
It is a means to allow disabled people to fully participate in social life. Well, first of all, it makes disabled people independent. They can use the infrastructures and move about freely without assistance.
WaterAid in Madagascar is the pioneer in the implementation of setting up accessible infrastructures. The equity and inclusion layout were drawn up by WaterAid International in 2009. Based on that document, we have carried out research on the different types of exclusion as regards with disabled and vulnerable people, and more specifically, the stigmatization due to the lack of access to clean water, sanitation and hygiene in Madagascar. Just after that, we implemented the accessibility. Handicap International supported WaterAid during the implementation of the project. It provided training for the partners and technicians who will build the infrastructure. For the latrine, the height of the grab rails is 85 cm and the seat height is 45 cm. The inner width of the door should be 90 cm. Pictograms should be placed to guide poor-sighted people. The latrines should be equipped with a guide cane that is 5 cm wide and 2 cm thick with an interval of 20 cm. For the shower, the bars should be extended to the entrance. Height of the wash basin should not be less than 85 cm to allow people traveling with a wheelchair to put their feet. The taps should be the lever type. The width of the door to the water point should be 90 cm and it should open inwards. The height from the ground to the tap should be 85 cm. The spaces between the bars of the grid for the bucket should be no more than 2 cm. And the inner surface measure at least 1,50 m by 2,50 m. Regarding access to infrastructure, the slope of the ramp ranges from 5 to 7% and its width is of 1,20 m. It is necessary to install a guide wheel of 8 cm high and 5 cm wide in order to prevent the wheelchair to deviate from the proper direction. Contrasting colors should be used to differentiate the infrastructure, and sharp corners should be rounded. The infrastructures were installed immediately after the training of the partners.
The extra cost of the equipment is estimated to be about 5% if the equipment is included at conception. It is advisable to take accessibility into account right at the beginning when the infrastructures are designed.
A diagnosis of accessibility was then conducted in collaboration with Handicap International and WaterAid. This step consisted in re-examining the built infrastructures, and the people with disabilities tested them. It promoted experience sharing between the partners. The diagnosis revealed that certain standards have not been fully met. The technicians thus had to make improvements. Moreover, the trainings have been documented while waiting for the International Standards Compliance Plan.
The shower and the toilet are accessible. It was a major obstacle for us. Accessibility has changed all this as it enables us to integrate society. We no longer depend on others. In any case, they are not always around to help us. Accessibility helps us to find the toilet and the showers, as these are the infrastructures used most often on a daily basis. The infrastructures that we have seen today are accessible. I think that we can say that yes, Handicap International is satisfied.
As part of the extension of the implementation accessibility, WaterAid will make efforts to ensure the sustainability of universal access to water, sanitation and hygiene, which is in itself a value defended by WaterAid. Influence activities will be conducted with the Ministry of Water and other stakeholders to update the procedures manual and the integration of accessibility standards. For the hearing impaired people, partially sighted people, the dumb and people having difficulty to speak, WaterAid will make available and ease its sensitization tools. The implementation of accessible infrastructures in urban zone is a challenge given the limited space, the overcrowd and inexistence or outdatedness of urban planning. The decision as to the pertinence or not of building accessible infrastructures is also a challenge. It would be inappropriate to install accessible infrastructures in places where the ground is broken, steep or small. For WaterAid, this tool will be used to support the disabled group, to assert their right to the use of these accessible infrastructures, and especially to raise awareness among partners working in the water, sanitation and hygiene sectors on the need for the development of easily accessible infrastructures.